you for joining us right on time. Look at you, guys. You guys are the good ones that are there before everybody else as they go clicking on ding, 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 ding. So welcome to the Stark and HomeSmart Social Media 10-week training series. Hope you guys are enjoying these. We're getting a lot of great feedback, and I hope you guys are enjoying that you could see them all over our YouTube channel. I know there's been a lot of views on that lately. We're getting there. We're recording. Perfect. Okay. Hi, Julie. Hi, Deanna.
Hello.
What's happening today?
So Deanna killed it last week at our office doing the social media training that we have to add it to this webinar series now. We have to record it. It was so good. Mind's blown.
Mind's blown. All right. So those of you listening, type in if you would like to see that, or raise your hand and I'll unmute you and you could actually tell Deanna, please do it again. One of the benefits of working at HomeSmart is you get to have Deanna live sometimes. All right.
That was fun.
All right, so there's a bunch of people on here we don't know. Okay, so let's be a little more professional. Hi, my name is Mike Bjorkman. I love social media. I'm the owner and broker of HomeSmart NCG in Valencia, Northridge, and Westlake. All kidding aside, we do a lot of business, and we have for a long time off social media. I own also a pretty large property management company, a couple other companies in different industries, and the reason I always say that is because I can't do all my social media alone. So we've had a relationship with Deanna for many years. She owns, co-founded Stark Social Media. So she's the genius with anything that has to do on your computer, on the web, on social media. She stays up with the latest and greatest and gives us all our hacks, including today we get to learn about a new platform for LinkedIn. And there's Julie.
Hi.
Hi. Julie is in charge of career services at HomeSmart, so she's the very lucky one that gets to hire all the brightest and best and most up-to-date social media agents in our area, and she also helps other HomeSmart brokerages across the country with their trainings and helps with their recruiters. So that's who we are. The reason we do this is we love our company, we love our agents, and we like to talk about how to make agents very successful. So Julie, give us a 30-second or less commercial on HomeSmart, the reason these people get to watch this for free.
So we're having everybody on today so we can show them all the fun tools that HomeSmart has. We're basically killing it when it comes to tools, training, technology, so we can take an experienced agent and double their business, triple their business, save them thousands. We can take brand new agents, train them, show them everything they need to do amazing things. And so message me, email me. I'd love to show everybody all the fun stuff. And we're $49 a month. I even have a cap program right now that you can only pay $3,600 for the year if you want. Oh,
that's so cool.
Awesome. Well, thank you for that, Julie. So you guys can get in touch with Julie or me after the webinar if you want to talk HomeSmart. Facebook groups that we do, there's so much stuff, and Deanna has so much stuff, and Julie has so much stuff. We post in these groups all the time. You can see that the white writing there on the one. It says Stark and HomeSmart 10-week social media series. If you want to stay up to date with bonus webinars we do, like the one we were just talking about, make sure you've joined that group. Very, very active group. And then the one below, HomeSmart Next Level Training Series. That is, man, if you just hung out in that group all day long, you could be a super successful agent because we post all of our training, whether it's social media or not, in that group. So we've done a really good job with that group. There's probably a couple thousand good agents in there that you can help learn, help teach and learn from as well. So stay in touch with us through those groups. And the Real Estate Marketing Show is officially back. And I love all you guys for freaking out for the last year saying, when are you going to do more? When are you going to do more? Honestly, it's because of you agents that drove us to continuing doing that. So we're committing to do probably the first 30 or 40 podcasts on that are going to be evergreen. So no matter where you're at, what level in your business you're at, they're going to help you. So whether it's your first day in the business or last day in the business selling millions of homes, you're going to learn at all times. We're doing that every other week. That's launching out, so you can find that in the Google Play and iTunes and Stitcher and all that stuff. Also, our YouTube channel, our HomeSmart NCG with no space, that's HomeSmart NCG YouTube channel. You can watch us actually do them there. If you like seeing all this, it's just a bunch more of that. And then Deanna and Nate have been so gracious to do the Social Life podcast. Boy, man, you want to go deep into social media and learn things and do things that other agents can't or won't, I would recommend that you go there and download their podcast. With that being said, if you want to find all these videos and if you want to find out other training and how to stay in touch with them, their Stark Social mobile app is unbelievable. You just get to click, here's our training, and you get to watch it on your phone or your desktop. So you're in good shape there. So download that app today off the Apple Store or Google Play as well. And I think we're about there, right? Enough commercials. So all you guys that don't know me out there, I'll be upfront and honest. LinkedIn is definitely a place where corporate people like to play around and brag about themselves. So that's not fun for me. I don't like LinkedIn. I love Facebook.
I got a job with you through LinkedIn.
Yeah, so that's another reason why you got to be careful with LinkedIn. So, but all kidding aside, LinkedIn is about half of the people. The other half of the people that aren't on Facebook, there's some people that spend a lot more time on LinkedIn because they're concerned about their careers, but a much more professional attitude and a more business attitude. This is where I communicate with all my asset managers and lending institutions for my REO, my default part, some of our other companies that we work with, and groups. I'm so active in the LinkedIn groups. I love them. And so for a real estate agent, I know some of you are expressive and amiable and it's not real fun for you, but there's a whole lot going on with LinkedIn that you need to know about. And our lovely Deanna, I think you're going to give us a little bit of that new platform right now.
Yes. So LinkedIn, for those of you that are not aware, has recently changed its platform. So it used to be your feed was a little bit bigger, it was a little bit more like there was a lot of space, but now they've sort of updated it, and you might be noticing that there are some big similarities to the way that your LinkedIn updates are delivered to the way your Facebook feed might look. So they're starting to incorporate new and different ways to advertise. Obviously, they're starting to get you with different types of career opportunities. But what they tried to do is they wanted to, based on feedback, simplify LinkedIn. And in trying to simplify it, I think it got a little more confusing because people had just gotten used to the update that they did 2 years ago. And so now it's hard to find things. If you'll notice, the toolbar is completely different up here. We used to have drop-down menus that would take us to our groups or our different networks or our business pages, and now it's completely different. So they wanted to make it easier for people to see what according to feedback, was really valuable and important to them. So how many people who have viewed your profile in the last 7 days, and then people who have viewed your posts in the last 7 days. So I know that a lot of people tend to use LinkedIn simply for networking, and by networking I mean email management and participating in groups, which for me that's exactly what it's about. You don't want to do more than that with LinkedIn, because I find that there's not much more to do unless you're looking for a job or that kind of stuff. But so let me show you what the profiles look like now. So they've changed it so that the header is much smaller. So it's a smaller background photo versus that really huge cover photo that used to take up half of your screen when you logged in to look at your profile. What you'll notice is they want you to see all of your articles and activity right in the forefront. So this is everything that you've done recently, which you should be keeping track of what you're doing in your activity. And then of course people also viewed, so this shows you if somebody looked at your profile, they also probably looked at these people over here. And you'll probably notice that they're also in the same sort of industry as you. And then as you scroll down, things pretty much look the same, but they got rid of all of the other different widgets down here. So the interests and the activities and all those personal things that they had added 2 years ago, they got rid of them on here. So what you'll notice is that they've got the companies that you're following and then your accomplishments. So anything that you've been published to, you want to make sure you're adding, and you can just do that. They've made it a lot easier. You used to have to go hunt for where to add these things, and now this little plus sign right here makes it really simple to just add any of your stuff. So in that way, it's a lot easier to update your LinkedIn profile, because you used to have to, I was looking back at the old training that I had done before a couple years ago, and it was much more complicated. So this is much easier. So if you have any honors or awards, HomeSmart has awards. They recognize their agents on a regular basis, so you know how well you're performing and how well you're doing. If you have any projects, if you've ever written a white paper, if you've ever written a blog post, if you've ever written anything that's been published anywhere, you want to add that here. That's great because it adds to your references. And if somebody's looking for you on LinkedIn to buy or sell a home, they might want to see that you've written about the subject that you're saying you're a subject matter expert about. And then any certifications that you have. So I've sat through all of the fun Google AdWords, Google
it says you're Google's partner, so you must be really rich.
Well, no, I've got the Google Partner certification. So for AdWords, analytics, they have these 1.5 to 2 hour classes that you take, and I think there's like 5 of them for each course. And then when you complete them, you take a 2-hour test. And I got that. So that's one of the things that we, the last couple years we've been offering since we got the certifications, and everybody here at Stark has them now. So we do support AdWords and stuff like that. And then your featured skills and endorsements. So this is, they've changed the way that this is formatted. So people can endorse you for different types of things. I think we've all seen it when we log in. But you can always add a skill and take away a skill. So if somebody has endorsed you for something that you, like, I don't plan events. I'm not an event planner. You can always get rid of things. Fundraising.
Look, events count.
Oh, I guess. Now she's making me second guess myself. So you can always, you can reorder them, you can change them, and then you can put them in the order of importance in here. I think they've made that a lot easier. So make sure that you're just filling this out completely. One of the things I love is that you can, when you're putting this stuff in here, you can always add links to videos, you can add links to your website, you can link to all kinds of stuff in here now. So I definitely say when you're filling out your LinkedIn profile, it makes it they've made it a lot easier to fill it out. If you're looking for the rest of the stuff that everybody thinks went away, and it's funny because I have about 5 or 6 people's LinkedIn profiles that on a regular basis, like I make updates to for them. They send me new bios, they send me new publications, they send me blogs. So when they log in and they look at it being different, and they haven't logged in a few months, they'll start to say like, well, where's all my stuff? So if you have a business page, this is where it sits now under the Me section. So settings and privacy, your help center. People have asked me if they should upgrade to premium. I think unless you're an HR professional or you're hiring people, I would definitely say don't worry about it.
Or have more money than you know what to do with.
Yeah, using the free version is perfectly fine. If I've actually sat through some trainings for LinkedIn, and even LinkedIn recommends that you just stick with the free version unless your company is hiring like huge numbers of people. You're a human resources professional, a management professional running and managing your staff. So you really don't need the premium stuff. So work, where things are now over here, and this is where this gets tricky. So work to me got confusing. So people obviously advertise, they make it super obvious where that is because they want you to spend money. And yes, disclaimer, LinkedIn is much more expensive than Facebook and Twitter and even Pinterest. We did an ad for Mike's property management company to increase engagement and get new followers. And I was able to, over the last few months, increase the followers to over 300, but it took time and figuring out their new platform for advertising. So we'll walk through each different type of ad on there. So there's what they're calling learning. So for learning, I haven't really had a chance to go through all of the things, but basically what it does is there's different trending tips and ideas for growth hacking, for Google AdWords essential training. So what they've done is they've added a whole section of videos and tutorials that people who are influencers or thought leaders on LinkedIn have been able to add. So if you're looking for a good place to find tools and tips for technology that you're just super confused about, this is a great place to look. I've watched a few of these videos, and what they do is they'll suggest videos that are trending in your specific industry. So I think that's really cool.
Can we share those? Are those able to go on, say, like our Next Level Training Facebook group?
Yeah, absolutely. We can link to these. And that's what I was looking at when I was trying to educate myself on all the different new stuff. So I sat through the webinar that LinkedIn puts a new webinar to learn LinkedIn. They have a free webinar, and I'll link to it. I'll link to it in the Stark and HomeSmart group, in the Next Level group. So you can sit through their webinar, which is about 90 minutes. I tried to record it, and it ended up just being like, so they have something that's blocking you from recording it. But yeah, we can link to these, and then you can check them out. You can add skills that you're interested in. So if you want to focus on something specific, maybe scripts and dialogues, maybe somebody's got a great listing presentation, if you're a HomeSmart agent, they have all that stuff available to you. But if you're not, you can take a look here and you can see what other people are offering. I've really enjoyed watching some of these videos, and they are pretty interactive, and you can save them for later and come back. So one of the things you do want to take a look at is a lot of these thought leaders and influencers on LinkedIn. They actually do have several different places where they're published. So they're credible people, and they're not just, some Yahoo who's posting a video. So I like those if you're looking for some stuff. Groups is a wonderful place to connect with other people. If you have not yet checked out groups, and you definitely want to, I say start with, just like with on Facebook, start with adding yourself. I have a lot of groups I'm a part of, so I have a hard time keeping track of all of them. But I definitely say start with searching for groups that fit with what you're doing. So it'll suggest groups for you, and then you can look through and join them. And what I like to use the groups for is I will look and see what the newest things that are being shared. A lot of times industry professionals will share blog posts, they'll share information about listings, they'll share information about new cool courses, coaching tips, all kinds of cool stuff. So I will check these out, and what I do is, like I said in the training last week at HomeSmart, I literally log into LinkedIn maybe once a week, because like Mike, it's not my favorite place to be. It's confusing sometimes, a little bit rough around the edges. So I definitely will log in once a week, and I'll spend a good 15 to 20 minutes looking through the groups and seeing if there's anything that I want to share on Facebook through our business pages, or any events or things. I've actually found and connected with a lot of social media and marketing groups locally here in the LA area. So if there's any mixers or events I want to participate in, or any mixers or things like that, you can often find them in these groups too. So it's a really good way to network online, but also to expand your sphere of influence. And then this, obviously, post a job and salary. The post a job is obvious. Salary is, or if you're an industry professional in a certain industry and you're looking to get a job, you can look up what the most recent and current salaries are for those positions. And then you can look people up, and then ProFinder is something very similar for job searches. And then SlideShare is something that LinkedIn recently purchased. And what it is, again, it's another training type tool. So you can actually search SlideShare for different slideshows, different presentations that that are education-based or tip-based or information-based. So, 3 things every sales team needs to think about. Some of these are, I'll admit, because I share a lot of them on our Twitter for Stark Social. Some of these are a little bit fluff, so it's not a lot of information you might already have. And I think we come across that a lot with trainings just in general. A lot of times what it is they want you to go and download their product, or they want you to go and sign up for their service. So you do have to, with the SlideShare, kind of weed through which ones are relevant and which ones are not. You can go through, so if you click on education, it'll show you can go through different stuff, and I really like it. I've actually found a lot of cool things. It's how I found a couple of the LinkedIn and Twitter trainings that I recently sat through, because I connected with the person who put it together. There's a lot of really cool things you can do. So you can search different topics like Facebook, and adult Facebook analysis and study. So there's a bunch of different ones. Facebook ads, best practices and ROI. So, when you have a few minutes, if you have any extra time, and I know we talk all the time about calendars and making sure that you're putting time aside for your prospecting and door knocking and setting up your marketing campaign and making sure that you're wishing everybody happy birthday that deserves it.
Got to do that.
Sounds like we do a lot. Are those still downloadable, or do you have to pay to get those downloaded?
I've just been looking at them on here, but I think there's some that you can download and some that you cannot. So there are some that certain authors will offer for free to download. And then there's others that you just have to watch them here, but you can share them to your different social channels, or you can share them via email, so you can keep them bookmarked or posted in different areas.
It's kind of a neat idea. Before, it started out as only a PowerPoint sharing place, so one realtor could go and get a listing presentation and just copy it, and then all of a sudden it just turned into this huge educational arena. It's just really interesting. So you guys listening out there, definitely do some searching on that, because you can find some cool stuff to show your clients, especially market updates and things like that. I don't know how relevant they keep it by dates anymore, but before, like I did a presentation out of state one time, and I wanted to look for market stats in a different state. I was actually in Portland, Oregon, and I pulled it up, and boom, there was a whole PowerPoint on market stats that was very relevant. So it's kind of neat.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely interesting to see what, like, for example, I mean, we all have heard the stuff about Zillow and Trulia, but what they put out sometimes, the numbers that they have in terms of statistics, you can take a look at them and see how skewed they are. You can even use it as proof to be like, here's what the online professionals are saying that everybody thinks that they can trust, but here's the reality of it. I think I saw a HomeSmart agent share like a Zestimate the other day, and it was really funny. She was like, here's what they say my home is worth, and here's what it's actually worth. And so it's really interesting when you provide that kind of detail and information to a client, how excited they get about, avoiding potentially being duped by something that they thought was trustworthy. But then also there's a bunch of different things on here, so you can see what's been recently added and what's not been added, what's what you don't need and what you do need. You can filter it in a lot of different ways. So if you're looking for infographics, which are super hot to share right now, you can search just by infographics. So that's really cool as well. So you've got a lot of different information that you can find on here. The other thing is, though, is that if you have information to share, you can also upload stuff. So if you have a great listing presentation, if you have a super sweet infographic, if you have something that you've put together that you feel is going to make you look really great, and as a place you as a subject matter expert on LinkedIn, you should totally take advantage of uploading and sharing it. Just like on your regular LinkedIn profile, if you want to publish articles, you can actually post articles to your own page, and that's something that ends up placing you as a subject matter expert. So think about those types of things. If you've written a blog post, if you've sold a house, I mean, it doesn't have to be anything like super high level. You just want to continue to get your name seen by your network and the people adjacent to your network. So keep those things in mind as you're going through and building your strategy.
So, Deanna, would you recommend for the agents, you know how on Facebook they'll post the now offer accepted and those kind of infographics, like the word swag ones that we do?
Mm-hmm.
And would we be posting the new hire posts here, like that we do, almost like Instagram, but not really?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, if you have anything cool that you're doing on Instagram visually things like pictures and infographics and things that are bright are going to stand out on the LinkedIn feed, because we have so many people who just share articles, or they just share, links to things with some text to it. So anything that you can do to make yourself stand apart I definitely recommend. And then, if you have questions, you can always ask, like, is this a good idea? Should I share this? And I'm always willing to say yes or no. I do that on a regular basis. So it's easy to say, I'll have HomeSmart agents will email me stuff and say, does this look good? Do you like it? What kind of text should I use? Is this too many commas in one area? And I'm happy to answer questions like nobody's business.
We had a lot of questions come up at the in-person training about emojis and capital letters, and I think there was one part that we even talked about Facebook had certain specifications about whether it's got too much text over an image. What do you think about for here?
So for here, they don't have the same rule, which is really cool, because you can say a lot on an image. With Facebook advertising and with Facebook just in general, they're trying to limit how salesy the feeds look for their users. And I think for LinkedIn, it's a different type of audience. I think people who are logging in on a regular basis to their LinkedIn business accounts, they're looking for something specific, and most of the time it's information and education. Not everybody is using LinkedIn to look for a job. So if they're coming to LinkedIn and they find you as a subject matter expert in real estate, they're going to want as much information as possible. So if you can put all of this info in one image and people can see it, then they might be likely to click on it and read more about it and see what it is. Cool. All right. So
where do we go next from here?
Exploding minds. So they updated also not just how your profile looks, but also how your business pages look. So it is really, really important to make sure that you have filled in all this information. So this is the property management company that Mike owns. It's here in Santa Clarita, and they also serve the North San Fernando Valley. And what we did was we ran a handful of ads so that we could take it away from it just being the employees. I think that was one of the questions I got when we said we were doing LinkedIn in 2 weeks was, oh good, because I'm tired of it just being my employees who follow my business page. And so that's where we're at. So you do want to make sure that all of your employees or anybody who's related to your business follows your LinkedIn business page. And then encourage them to check into it on a regular basis by saying, can you go look and share anything that we posted recently? Can you make sure that you're going through and liking like the last 10 posts? Because what that does is that keeps it relevant. The more people that come in, obviously, and engage with your content, the more it's going to show up on LinkedIn feeds. So you want to make sure that you have people, friends, family, colleagues. You can even take the link and send it out to people and say, hey, don't forget to follow our business page. We're looking to make sure that we're engaging with a professional audience. And so, for LinkedIn, I personally recommend if you're a small business and you're managing your social media on your own, try and post a couple times a day. Same kind of thing with Facebook. Try and post a couple of times a day just to keep yourself in people's feed. You want to make sure that you're keeping whatever listings, if you've got real estate tips or information, if you've got listing presentation tips, if you've got an open house, you can always advertise those things on LinkedIn too. There's no rule against it. You cannot yet create an event like you can on Facebook for, let's say, an open house or a broker open, but you can definitely advertise the link to the event or post a cool graphic about the open house or your real estate flyer that you have about the open house or the listing. So those things can all be posted to your business page. So just make sure you're encouraging everybody to take a look. In the same thing that you can do with, so we'll go ahead, this is the campaign manager for LinkedIn, and I just want to go through, there's a few different things that you can do here, and what they've done is they've taken their advertising and they've consolidated it into 3 goals. When we did our last webinar, we had, I think there was 10 different end goals. So kind of very similar to what Facebook is doing. They decided that they didn't want to offer as many options as Facebook, and they watered it down to 3 different options only. So sponsored content, that's basically just like boosting a post. And if you're not sure what each one of these is, they show you when you click on the Learn More dropdown what it looks like and why you'd choose this one. So they're trying to make it user-friendly, so I give them high marks for that. But I did take a survey recently to tell them that their daily budget ratios are way too high. You can't be, it's not as budget-friendly. So if you're looking to spend the least amount of money possible, this is a little bit tougher because they do say your daily budget has to be X amount of money, and I'll show you what that looks like. But so this is what the ad would look like, and basically it's like boosting a post on Facebook or sponsoring a tweet on Twitter. So it's to attract new followers to your company and showcase your page. It will drive engagement with company-specific content, so content that you have shared on your business page. So the first thing you need is to make sure that you have posts, recent updates on your business page, so that you've been sharing stuff on your business page on a regular basis. Because if you don't have anything, you can't do sponsored content. There's nothing for you to do. So when you select this, it will direct you to add content to your business page. So this is all for business pages. You cannot advertise from your profile. So if you're looking to advertise, if I was looking to advertise as Deanna Miller, it wouldn't let me do that. I'm not allowed to advertise myself as an individual. I'm only allowed to advertise myself as a business or the businesses that I represent. And this will appear on mobile devices, tablets, and desktop. So this is the all-encompassing one that you would select if you were looking to hit all devices. And it does that specifically for you. So text ads is a little bit different. So what a text ad is, I thought it was going to make it bigger for me. It didn't. So what a text ad is, text ad is something that you would see on the right column. So if you're looking at your feed, it would be in the right column usually. These are very highly targeted. So these are used a lot for, you know, if you have a very small amount of money to spend and you need to be very budget conscious. And they're also used a lot for people, you'll notice them for job searches. So new job listing is usually what you'll see these ads in your feed. And they will appear on the right side only. So these don't come through on mobile. So if you're trying to reach a mobile audience, these don't go through to mobile very well at all. I have played around with them, and they don't have as high a return on your investment as these guys do. So this is what I used to grow Mike's page over the last few months to get us crawling up away from the employees of California Leasing liking the page to a bunch of investors, real estate people, focusing on all those different audiences, homeowners, you know, renters, and you can target all kinds of different stuff with this. It's just a little more complicated when you're putting it together. So let's take a look at what that looks like. Boop, boop, boop.
So, Deanna, I got a question. So we want to make sure all the agents know about our agent referral program where we pay them $250 for an owner lead, and then we use our CRM to keep in track with their clients, co-branded. Our property managers call their clients twice a year and see if they want a, CMA courtesy of their listing agent. Could we build an ad on LinkedIn and go after direct to real estate agents that way so they know about the program?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah,
So
no,
it's like
absolutely.
Facebook, you can target a real estate agent.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
That's kind of
exactly.
cool. Yeah,
So
write that down.
so I would also like to acquire followers for my company or showcase page. So do not worry about what a showcase page is. It's just basically crap. Don't worry about it. You want to focus on your company page. I messed around before with creating a showcase page to test things out for Stark Social, and I got like no traffic to it. Even when I ran ads for it, I think I got like, it was like me and Nate and our account manager and our accountant and like 2 other people. So focus on your company page. Don't give yourself too many other things to focus on. So again, we want to make sure that we're naming any of our campaigns things that we will remember. So this is just a test ad. I'm not, going to do anything fancy with it. But if you want to acquire followers, this is generally unchecked. If it's unchecked, check it, because this is how I grew the page from whatever it was, 15 followers to 336 or 66 or whatever it is. So you want to acquire followers for the company page. So that is going to be one of your goals. And by clicking on this, what you'll get is, if I show you over here, this little button down here, what you'll get with that is there'll be a follow button. And people on LinkedIn, according to their statistics, if they see an ad for something that's interesting to them, I think it's like 45% of the time they'll click follow. So you want to make sure that you're including this little checkbox. Don't leave that unchecked, because all you'll end up doing is getting interaction on the one post and not on your page. So we want to make sure that we're bringing in followers to our company page. Okay, so when we click next, what it does is it shows us all the content that we have listed over the last, all the content we share. So we have specific goals to make sure we're getting our home value. So we want to make sure that, so this one, so let's say we have specific goals to drive traffic. Okay, so this one, you can pick a bunch of different ones, and then over here, you click sponsor selected. Super easy. That part of it I like better than Facebook, because you can select multiple posts to sponsor versus just one at a time. And in Facebook, we all know we have to go through and boost post, boost post, boost post. Or if you're doing it from the Facebook advertising section, right, from your ads manager, you have to do one and then start again, and then do one and then start again. So this is much, 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 much easier to do in terms of that. So I do like that. It's probably one of the only things that I like about it above certain things. So you can do the same kind of targeting. It's very similar to include or exclude certain areas. So if you're looking to target specific areas, let's say we wanted to do Santa Clarita, California. You'll notice that it's not as friendly as Facebook is, because Facebook will give us a couple different options. If I want to target the greater Los Angeles area, it allows me to do that. So that's one of the things that I've started to get a little bit about LinkedIn, is that it doesn't let you narrow your location as easily as Facebook or Twitter, and even Pinterest now. Pinterest is a lot easier. They let you put in addresses and zip codes and things like that. So it's not necessarily as friendly. What you can do is look at this drop-down menu, and it'll show you, let's see, California. It gives you
Will it let you do zip codes?
It doesn't let you do zip codes in here. I,
weird.
yeah, it's feedback that I gave to them. That it's when you're looking to target an audience, like the whole area of Bakersfield or the whole area of Chico, Greater Los Angeles, Greater San Diego. So it doesn't let you go down any further than that, which is like super frustrating
Bullshit.
to an advertiser. And that's why the dollar spend for this is just so frustrating for me, because it's like, you know, I'm yes, targeting the greater Los Angeles area for a property management company is awesome, but targeting the greater Los Angeles area for somebody whose farm is maybe one neighborhood in a huge county or city area, super frustrating. And are you spending your money on the whole area? Because this is 5.2 million LinkedIn members are estimated to be targeted with that. And while that's great, is it going to hit, for us in LA, is it going to hit somebody who's in, you know, let's say Santa Monica, or where we're at, Santa Clarita, or, you know, so it's a little bit frustrating in terms of that. So you can go on to select specific targeting criteria to zero in on your ideal influence. So are you looking for people who are a specific job function, job title, company size, company name, company industry? So I will look at these and say, so it gives us a full list. And again, it's not as intuitive as Facebook is. So you can look at all these different things here, service industry, and then you're like, what is all this stuff? Organizations, media, manufacturing, legal. There's just a lot of stuff in here that's a little bit hard to go through. So if you look at this, you have to go to construction to find real estate. So I had to help somebody find it when we first started noticing that they had changed it, because it used to be under finance when we were doing advertising. And then it was just like, well, where is it? I don't even know. So it's under construction. And then what it does is it suggests some things to you. So what I ended up doing for targeting for the property management company was people who were in investment management, accounting, commercial real estate. So those things got some really high returns. Construction. So you want to make sure that you're looking at things, but what you can also do is, if you're looking at, let's say, specific company sizes, degrees, member skills, members of specific groups, is probably the best way to start targeting if you're just getting started, because you can actually start typing a group name. So let's say you're a member of a certain group, it'll start popping up what the group is, and you can advertise to specific groups. So I have joined over the last 4 years, 5 years, 6 years, I don't know how long it's been that I've been working with Mike. I have joined a lot of real estate professional groups, and what you want to do is join all those groups and then advertise to the people who are members. Because what I've actually found out over time is that there are people who are members of these LinkedIn groups that have nothing to do with real estate. They're not real estate professionals. They're not in title. They're not lenders. They're looking for real estate agents, or they're looking for insider information on the real estate industry from real estate professionals. So you're going to want to target specifically to, if you can, to a location, if you're okay with being so expansive, or you're just going to want to dial it down to specific groups to start to grow your network and start to grow your business page, so that you can then use that as proof of being a subject matter expert in your industry. So we can start to add all those different groups. Let's see. And then from there, there's a lot of other things. So you can help my campaign reach new audiences. Okay, that's good. And then deliver my campaign to my target audience beyond the LinkedIn feed. So what this basically does is, it's very similar to what Facebook ads do when you're promoting them. Or if you've ever worked with a tool like AdRoll or anything that does like banner ads on different sites, So your campaigns are currently eligible to reach a target audience on LinkedIn and their partner sites. So what that means is a partner site would be something like SlideShare still has an independent site. They are connected with Huffington Post and they're connected with Inc.com. So your ads have the potential to be served to a different audience beyond LinkedIn. So that's one of the pluses of this, is that I've actually had people who have said, oh my gosh, I was searching and then I saw this ad for you guys on Business Insider. I didn't know you could afford advertising on Business Insider. And yeah, so we did it through here. So that's really cool. And then with the same as Facebook, you can save these audience templates. So you can save multiple audiences to come back to them later so that you can use them whenever you want to when you're doing your advertising. All right, so let's just go to the next. So this is where we get into the nitty-gritty that's a little bit frustrating for me. So they only give you two options in terms of what you can do for your advertising. So we've got the cost per click and we've got cost per impression. Either way, you're going to end up with spending a decent amount of money, so make sure that you have your budget squared away before you get started. Cost per impression, your budget will need to be a minimum of $39.86 for your daily budget. So daily budget is the same as on Facebook, except for that this is much more expensive. It's a little bit pricier, so it costs a lot more money. We allocated a decent chunk of change to put this ad together for California Leasing. And so you want to make sure that, let's say your ad budget is $1,000 for the month for social media advertising, you might want to give yourself like $500, give yourself half of it to play around with Facebook ads so that you, LinkedIn ads, so that you can see how they perform. And remember, you want to do the same kind of stuff that we've talked about in the past. You want to A/B test things. You want to maybe you have 3 posts that have similar content but a different image or a different text, and so you want to go through and say, well, I'm going to sponsor these three posts on my LinkedIn page and see which one performs better at the same time but with varying budgets. I tend to go straight for the cost per click, and here's why. Minimum budget, boop, $10. So you can run, 3 or 4 or 5 or 6 different ads on LinkedIn for a decent amount of money. But you do want to remember that if you change this, your budget is affected in that the delivery of your ad might not be as far and extensive as you want it to be. So like I've said in the past, if you're running ads on Facebook or Twitter, you want to focus on the weekends. With LinkedIn, it's totally different. You don't want to focus on the weekends. People are not logging into their LinkedIn accounts on Saturday and Sunday because they're bored hanging out with their family. They're logging into LinkedIn on a regular basis. The statistics show that people are most active on LinkedIn from 6 o'clock in the morning to 10 o'clock in the morning. So you want to make sure that you're running your ads during the week and not on the weekend. So I would definitely say, test out a week. So this would end up being, if your budget is $10 for the day, you might spend $70 depending on what your delivery is. I have found good results with $20 a day. And then you want to make sure that they tell you the suggested bid for your audience reach and spend is $7.95. Other similar advertisers are bidding. Here is the range. So what is a bid? So this is the maximum amount you're willing to pay per click or per 1,000 impressions. It doesn't change for social media actions, commenting or sharing or liking. So like when you're doing an ad or you're boosting a post on Facebook, you're getting charged for certain things. You'll get charged for like sharing, commenting, liking. Because that's engagement. That's what Facebook considers engagement. LinkedIn does not consider that to be a part of the ad. You only get charged when someone clicks on your advertisement, or if you're doing cost per impressions, or if somebody sees it. So that's why cost per impressions is much more expensive. And it's different than it is on Facebook. So keep that in mind. I do not do start immediately and run for the ever and ever and ever and ever, ever. I made this mistake a long time ago, and I wholeheartedly will admit it. I made this mistake where I started an ad and I thought that I had given it an end date, and I had not, and my total budget for that specific ad run was, I think, like $500, and we ended up spending like almost $2,000. So keep your eyes peeled for select a start date. So you want to start during the week. So maybe you run one on the 27th and you end it on the 31st, and you run those 3 as a comparison with your total budget being, you know, whatever it is for the week, $150. So what you will get charged here is very similar to Google AdWords. So Google AdWords will charge you a rough estimate, right? So you say your budget is $100 and something, you might get charged a little bit more, you might get charged a little bit less. It's all about delivery and rounding it up. So it's never like I did an ad with the campaigns where we had the budget was like $250, and we ended up only getting charged, I think it was like $210. So it's all about delivery and what actually ends up occurring with your ad. So again, you might spend a little bit more, you might spend a little bit less. And then all that's left to do is launch your campaign. So what's funny to me is they wait till the absolute end to give you your like tips and tricks and ideas. So I will post this in the Facebook group, but basically what this is tips and ideas on how to target your audience. So they don't give it to you right at the beginning. They wait until the very, very end when you're ready to launch your campaign. So this is something that they don't advertise because it's in their LinkedIn help, and even if you search for it, it's hard to find. So I think what they're trying to do is get people to, they have a LinkedIn Academy for advertising, and it costs money, so I think they want people to turn over and reach out to them and get help for that. So I will post this in our LinkedIn groups, Facebook group, so you can see about LinkedIn campaign budgeting. But yeah, so that in a nutshell is how to get an advertising started on LinkedIn. And again, if you guys have any questions, post them in the Stark and HomeSmart Facebook group and go ahead and tag me in it, because everybody ends up having questions when we're done. And if there's ever questions I can answer and the whole group can see them, it benefits everybody a lot more if we can just answer them all at once. But you can always feel free to email or message me if you guys have questions.
You're awesome. Deanna, what about our connections? Do we still have to be careful of who we connect with? I'm feeling like it's different than Facebook, because what's really nice is you can just click unfollow, 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 unfollow. You don't have to disconnect your connection with them, because when you advertise or you post something in your feed, you want them to see it. But you know, for years I didn't know, and I just accepted any LinkedIn invitation. I mean, can people see my connections? Can we count those now? I looked on it the other day. I couldn't tell who was what and who could see what I was doing. It looked so much more private than Facebook.
Yeah, so they've actually changed it so people can't see who your connections are anymore. So that's actually really cool. You can make it so that they are live and active and people can see it when they look at your profile. But they changed it with this new launch of this new interface, because people were saying, complaining a lot about, you know, I can see Mike's connections, so I'm just going to go and connect with everybody who I think is a high-profile person, and then I'm going to send them a LinkedIn message and say, like, if you're not happy with your current real estate agent, I'd be happy to work with you.
I never thought of that.
Yeah.
Wow.
So there was a lot of poaching that was, you know, people trying to poach other people's clients. It's funny because I never did that or had that happen to me. I actually have had people refer business to me through LinkedIn and say, we're way too busy, can you help these people? But you keep up your connections and with your notifications, and if somebody has a work anniversary, you know, you can see it in your notifications and, you know, like it. I am not necessarily super picky about who I connect with unless it looks like it's some sort of like, just random person with no picture, no information on
Scammy
the
looking
profile.
thing, yeah.
Yeah, if it's
And there's
somebody,
not too many of those, but I just think as a real estate agent, I want to connect with everybody I can that lives in the greater Los Angeles area, and hopefully they see what I'm doing.
right.
But I don't know. I don't quite get it all, but all I do know is that it's kind of cool when you can advertise because basically what it's doing is retargeting when it
Uh-huh.
works with your partners. That's pretty cool with the partnership websites.
Yeah.
That's just like retargeting, and I never knew LinkedIn did that. So that was worth watching this whole thing to learn that one thing.
So, and then the other thing too is people who are looking to increase their connections, they've added this My Network button. So anybody that you're friends with on Facebook or you're connected with through email, it starts to suggest people. Like I've had a lot of people who email me questions, or like I am friends with them on Facebook, or I have somebody who is connected with them through LinkedIn, so they think we should be connected. Go through these on a regular basis and see, who you want to connect with, especially if, there's the potential for partnership with, like HomeSmart has smart partners. If you're an individual real estate agent working with a broker, find yourself some partners to partner up with to do, client appreciation events and, help them pay for your CRM and your marketing or your lead generation tool. So, there's definite possibilities for finding people that you could potentially work with here.
That was a good idea. There's a lot of people on there. Yeah.
There's a lot of people. I know it's crazy. A lot of people, you just have to be aware. Like there's people on here who I know I'm already connected with, but that's a personal email address. So it'll send them invites. So I know, yeah.
Yeah, don't do that. Can you upload your CRM into that to market to them as well?
They have not gotten that savvy yet.
Okay.
It makes
Cool.
me sad, but you can do it on the Facebook.
Do you think they'll come out with the post where you can post video, like a lot of the YouTube videos that we've done or anything? Can we?
Yeah, I think that they will eventually incorporate video. I think the thing is LinkedIn is much more slower to adopt things that Facebook is like, oh, people like video, cool, let's do it. And then as we do it, we're going to improve it and make it better. LinkedIn, I think, waits for people to have done it well, and then they decide if they're going to do it better or try and do it as good. But yeah, I think there's still the possibility, though, if you have a ton of YouTube videos, like you've got property listings or trainings or anything like that, you can post them to a business page and then sponsor those updates to get traction, to get click-throughs on those links if you're looking to improve your YouTube visibility.
Cool. Wow. Well, there's some interesting changes for sure. All right. So, as always, every week, you guys, I ask you to publicly thank Deanna and Stark Social for doing that. Her contact information is supposed to be plopping up here pretty quick. There you go, at Stark Social, pretty much everywhere. Whether your choice of platform, please thank her publicly for that. And then to get a hold of Julie, right there, Julie at homesmartncg.com, at Top Producer 24 on Twitter. And of course, she's all over Facebook, so that's it. Thank you guys. What's next? What's the 2 weeks from now? What is that one?
We can do the one I did live at HomeSmart.
Done. You guys don't want to miss that. I heard so many great things about that.
It was crazy. I felt like a workout when I was done.
Awesome. Well, then hopefully we can make a big splash with the recording on it. So, all right, you guys are awesome. Thank you, Julie. Thank you, Deanna, as always. And we'll see you guys all in a couple of weeks. You have a beautiful day. Bye-bye now.
Thank you.